Nobody knew how the old man always predicted the rain. Not weather scientists, not travelers, not even the people who had lived beside him for decades. On mornings when the sky looked perfectly clear, when birds flew peacefully above the village, and not a single cloud could be seen, he would quietly whisper, "Bring your umbrellas." Hours later, the rain would come, every single time, but the strangest part wasn't how he predicted the rain, it was what happened. The day the rain stopped speaking to him. In a quiet mountain village surrounded by hills and rivers lived an old man named Elias. He lived alone in a small wooden house near the edge of the forest. Most people simply called him the Umbrella Man, not because he sold umbrellas, not because he feared storms, but because Elias carried one every single day, even beneath bright sunshine. Even when summer skies stretched endlessly blue, children laughed when they saw him. "Old Elias thinks it's raining again," they teased. But Elias never became angry. He simply smiled, quietly, gently, as if he knew something the rest of the world didn't. And in truth, he did. Elias first heard the rain when he was only 8 years old. One quiet evening, he helped his grandmother fold clothes outside their tiny home. The sky glowed orange. The air felt still, peaceful. Then suddenly, Elias stopped moving. Something drifted through the air, soft, distant, almost impossible to explain. It sounded like whispers, like music hidden somewhere inside the sky. Tiny voices dancing through the wind. He looked upward. There were no clouds, no thunder, nothing unusual at all. Yet somehow, he knew. "Grandmother," he whispered, "the rain is coming." She laughed kindly. "Not tonight," she said. "Look at the sky." But 10 minutes later, dark clouds swallowed the sunset. Thunder rolled across the hills. Rain crashed down so suddenly the village scrambled for shelter. Everyone stood shocked. Everyone, except Elias. As Elias grew older, the whispers always returned. Before every storm, sometimes they sounded joyful, light, like distant humming carried by warm winds. Other times, restless, uneasy, almost warning him. And every single time, rain followed. Word slowly spread through the village. Farmers visited Elias before planting crops. Fishermen refused to leave shore without asking him first. Travelers climbed mountains just to hear his predictions. Some believed he was gifted. Others believed he was strange. A few even whispered something darker, magic. But Elias himself never understood why it happened, because the truth frightened him. He wasn't controlling the whispers. He wasn't summoning storms. He was simply listening. Then one summer, something impossible happened. The whispers vanished, completely. Days passed. Nothing. Weeks passed. Silence. The rivers shrank. Crops turned brown. The village air felt heavy, dry, empty. Every morning, desperate villagers knocked on Elias's door. "Will rain come today? Can you hear anything? Please tell us." But for the first time in his life, Elias had no answer. And deep inside, fear quietly grew. Had the rain abandoned him? Had he somehow lost the one thing that made him special? One evening, as sunlight faded into gold, a little girl named Mira appeared outside his house. She carried a tiny paper flower, carefully folded, slightly crumpled. "I made this for you," she said. Elias smiled softly. "Why?" Mira shrugged. "Because you look lonely." She sat beside him quietly. Neither spoke. The world around them slowed. Wind drifted gently through the trees. Crickets sang. Time felt strangely still. Then suddenly, Mira tilted her head. Her eyes widened. "Wait," she whispered. "Do you hear that?" Elias froze. At first, silence. Then softly, impossibly softly, he heard it, the whispers, gentle, familiar, like forgotten music hidden in the sky. Tears slowly filled his eyes, and for the first time, Elias finally understood. The rain had never belonged to him. Wonder was never meant for one person. The world had always been speaking. Most people had simply forgotten how to slow down and listen. Moments later, thunder rolled quietly across the mountains. Cool rain touched the dry earth. Children laughed. Farmers cried with relief. Villagers stood beneath the storm, smiling. But Elias remained still, standing beside Mira, listening. Because sometimes, life's greatest mysteries are not hidden in magic. They live quietly inside ordinary moments, waiting for someone curious enough, calm enough, brave enough to truly notice them. And maybe, wonder was never rare at all. Maybe, it had always been around us, waiting to be heard.